Hey, hi, welcome to Nia's Divine Garden. This is my new lock doing whatever it wants to do. So is this one doing whatever it wants to do? Hi, I'm Ia Dania, and welcome to a special episode. I decided to do a thing, and I wanted to share because I thought it was like really, really cool. Um, so for those of you that do not know, um, outside of being a medium, tarot reader, and things like that, I'm also a poet. And so I had the pleasure Juneteenth of doing my very first poetry performance in public. I got to do a few of my poems at our Juneteenth festival. It was very well received. It was an amazing experience. Some background on that is that though I wanted to go to the festival and I wanted to be a vendor, being an act performing was not on my agenda. It was not even in the forefront of my mind. And the way that it ended up happening is the day I signed up to be a vendor, the way their website was laid out is that they had the vendor section and they had the act section right beside each other. And so after I did the vendor thing, as I'm glancing, my eyes glanced down at the performers part and my nose started to do the thing it does when I'm getting like an intuitive yes. And I'm like, and so I'm like, why is that happening? So I scan and do it again, and it's like, oh, do I need to sign up to do this? I get a yes again. And I'm like, okay, fear, like, oh no, they're not even gonna pick you. Full imposter syndrome. They're not gonna pick you. Are you even good enough to do this? Because I have such a high respect for people who do spoken word and they can recite their poetry by heart. And I'm just not one of those people because I don't remember them. Um, I only remember one poem in my life that I've ever written straight through. And I wrote it was like I was 10. Not a single other poem can I remember. And maybe that's significant that that's the one that I can remember, but I can't remember any of the others. So I'm like, okay. So I'm like wigging out initially as I do it. Once I submit it, it kind of calms. And what I feel is kind of like this, oh my God, you listened kind of sensation. Like, yes, you did it. Even my divinations afterwards were like, yo, fives, good job. I started like kind of imagining what it would be like. I started recording myself more, reading my poetry just so I could kind of feel because again, since I don't remember them, I don't always remember how they feel in a cadence writing them. My poems don't always rhyme. So it's just like, yeah. So Sunday comes and I'm just like, this is happening. Like, this is happening. Like, there's no turning back now. You're getting ready to do this. 2:30 comes. We have to start check in 30 minutes ahead of time. I'm just, oh my God, I'm doing this. This is happening. And so, but the moment I set foot on stage, it was just like my all of my nerves were quiet. There were no nerves. There were absolutely no nerves. And it was just like, and afterwards was so cool. Like even during the MC was like, okay, poet. And I'm just like, yes. That's like I'm in my head, like, yes. The DJ, because the last poem I did was the one that I wrote as an ode to Black men. And so he hugged me and was like, thank you. There was somebody waiting that was going on next. He was like, yo, you were so good. And I was just like, and then I listened to myself because I don't often listen to myself. And somebody recorded it on Facebook Live. So once I had got settled and everything, I played it and I didn't watch it, I just listened. And as I was listening to myself, my energy, I felt myself. And I was just like, is that me I feel? God dang, is that I was like, yo, like after what I shared, my reaction to myself was like, yo, is that how I feel, y'all? Golly. And is that my voice? Man, I don't know who sis is. Like, that was wild. That was like so. wild to witness myself that way. So the other day, I got the idea. I wonder what the energy of that moment looked like. So we were in a waning moon, and I felt like one of the things that has been waning, being released, was fear and doubt in myself. Um, so it was good um, timing in that regard. And then um, another thing was, let's see, for this year, June is a 6 month for me. Um, um, the karmic lesson, because for me it's a 156. So it's, self and change, and being open to change, and being open to the fluctuations and the ebbs and flows in my life, and allowing change to happen. Um, then there was it was the 19th, so 6-1. So it was a 7 day, and sevens are all about surrender. Like, it's level headed, it's a divine number, but it's one of those, like, you're so intelligent, you're so intellectual, and sometimes you can be thoughtful in your head. And some things are above your spiritual pay grade, and need to allow the divine to happen and work through you because you're divinely connected. Keep your feet planted, but understand you're still divine. That's why it's like that. And so I was having for me, it was personally, it was a 7 day. I think for the collective, it's a 3 month, and that would have made it a 4 day. So not only am I having this day of allowing and surrender and things of that nature, and leading, because it's also a leading number, there's a foundation being built. Because 4 is all about structures of organization and building. And so there's a foundation being laid. So that was kind of the numerology of the day and the moon. So I was like, I wonder cosmically what it was. And I decided to do the chart for the moment, not the transits for me. And I can kind of tell you my chart on top, what it would be, where things are in relation to my birth chart. But I pulled the chart for the moment. I was very thankful that somebody recorded it live. So there was a timestamp of when the moment. So I pulled a chart for the moment. So that's what I'm going to share with you tonight, is the chart of the moment and the energy of the moment. Because I thought, when you see the synchronicities, so again, I'm at Juneteenth doing poetry, showing my creativity, and I followed my intuition to do it. So just here we go. All righty. So this is the chart, and I'm going to try to keep this as simple as I can for folks who are not huge on astrology. I want it to make sense. So right here is the beginning. You see the number 1 right there. So all of these numbers in this area are called the houses. So if the cosmos was broken up into like a little wheel, these are the various areas of our life. The zodiac signs are on the outside, and that is the lens, the filter by which we see those areas of our life. And then the planets are the way we act through that lens in that area of our life. Now there's some other things, but this is your high level overview. So I took a look at the big 4. I looked at the big 4. So I looked at my sun, moon, and rising and midheaven of the moment. So not me personally, but of the actual moment this was taking place. So first off, we have that my sun. So obviously it was Gemini season, and so we're right at the end at 28 degrees of Gemini. And for those that don't know, as far as degrees are concerned, people who really work with degrees, certain degrees are really, really, really important. Certain degrees are indicative of a specific kind of energy. And so the later degrees, like 29, is a karmic degree because it's the last degree before it moves over to the next sign. So with it being at 28 degrees, I'm like literally right there at that moment, that transition point, that there's this energetic shift about to happen. So I thought that was really important, that it was at 28 degrees. Um, so that's where my sun was. And so these are thoughts, ideas, creativity. Um, so just thinking about, you know, like I was in a very Gemini moment doing, using my words to share my ideas, things that I wrote, like very, very karmic, Gemini type of energy. Um, then we have my moon. So moon is in Pisces. And I'll highlight this here. So this was in the ninth house. So ninth house is all about philosophy, religion, higher learning, spirituality, things of that nature. And the poem sequence that I chose was to honor our ancestors, to honor our divine self, and then to honor Black men because it was Father's Day. And I felt like that was something that doesn't always happen, and I wanted to do that specifically. So those align with my philosophy in life and how I move through life and how I think and how my mind works. So that was very much a ninth house expression of that moment. Um, then we have the moon. And so your moon is like, um, your inner self, your inner world. Like your sun is your personality, your ego, how you shine. So in that moment, I was allowing my true self to shine. And for those that would like to know, Gemini in my birth chart is in my 12th house. So this is my unconscious self. This is my shadow. It is the area that I kind of keep private and I don't always allow people to see and don't allow it to shine. Not almost like the moon in a way, but even more depth, even further down in the bowels of our being. So the fact that I did something that I have never done before, that's very much in alignment with my natal chart. So then we have the moon. So we have the moon was in Pisces at that moment. So we have the moon in Pisces at 11 degrees. I have a life path 11, so that was very significant, the fact that it was at 11 degrees. Even though it's not like one of those karmic degrees, it's significant to me that the moon was at 11 degrees because I am a Cancer rising. And so I am ruled by the moon. The moon is also my dominant planet. So that was significant. Pisces, again, this is a creative sign. This is a sign of poets and singers and artists. That's their sign, is Pisces. So again, and then also very humanitarian energy. So my intention was to share with the crowd why it is that so many people of African descent are looking to their African traditions again, reminding them that they are individualized aspects of the Most High, and then uplifting the Black men on Father's Day and reminding them too that they are also divine. So again, very Pisces. And the fact that this is in the sixth house of this chart, day-to-day life, the sixth house isn't necessarily career, but it can represent work. It's what you do day to day that allows you to be of service to others. And I find that my poetry ends up also being a service that I offer to others. So I thought that was really dope that that's where it is. And Pisces in my natal chart is my ninth house. I'm also a Pisces midheaven natally. So there's that as well. Um, let's see. So then it's a Libra rising. So Libra rising is all about harmony, balance, relationships, diplomacy. And for that to be the rising sign. Um, and this is the thing that caught me. So Libra is ruled by Venus, and Venus is actually right here in Taurus. which is also ruled by Venus. So Venus is in a very nice place. It's at home. It's in its house. It's chilling. It's in its house. It's where it wants to be. And I was like, okay, alrighty then. So I have a very well placed. Well, that moment of the moment had a very well placed Venus. So that rising energy, that self expression was able to happen. Libra is also an air sign, so there is some thoughts and ideas that also play into that Libra energy, but it's really Venusian. So it has a sensual aspect to it. Um, it's good for the senses. So it would be something expressed that, someone could, with their five senses, they could hear it, they could feel it. And I thought that was really dope. And then plus, my intention was to bring harmony to people in that moment and bring peace and balance. And I feel like that was something that I was successful in doing. Also, subsequently, after that moment, like, being told I should come to, they do an open mic night here in town, and like you should come do that. Somebody else telling me that they're, they thought that it was special the way that I delivered that poetry. Even when I got back to my tent, running into someone, and she bought my book and asked me did I do public speaking and did I travel. So just all these different relationships happening, um, as a result of this moment. So I thought that was also really cool. Midheaven, which is this MC right here. So that's in the sign of Cancer. And so your midheaven is your point of recognition. It is what your legacy will be. It's your public image. It's your, generally speaking, it's your career. So again, I have, I noticed this as I was putting it together. I was like, okay, so Cancer is ruled by the moon. So we have the career house, which is the 10th house, which is your career house, with its ruler sitting in the day-to-day life. And I was like, okay, okay, alrighty then, we see you. And I am a Cancer rising. So the moment, this moment's point of public image is sitting in the place in my natural chart of my self-expression. And I was like, yo, that's wild. That's wild. What I also noticed, just some other little highlights and things. So we have the vertex right here. And the vertex point is a mathematical point. So it's not a physical object, but it's a mathematical point of fate. Whatever something transpires with that vertex point, it's fate. It is meant to happen. This is divine intervention. And I'll talk about some of that in a moment too. But this is divine intervention. And so for this to be first off here in the upper half of this chart, which means whatever it was would be happen publicly, because this is your public social outside self, and this is your inner world. This is what's happening internally. So for it to be up here but it's literally almost an exact conjunction with Mercury. So Mercury moves Gemini. So again, Mercury is at home, it's chilling, it's not retrograde, it's at home in its home sign, conjunct the vertex point. And Mercury is your thoughts, your ideas, creativity. And a lot of it's because it's your thoughts and ideas, it's your will. And so the fact that this is literally in almost an exact conjunction with the vertex point, I was like, I then, alrighty. I did make a note again about this Venus being home in Taurus, which Venus is a benefic, so it's abundance and love, relationships, sexuality, creativity. It's sitting in the home of Taurus, and Taurus is in tarot the rules the Empress. So, and I've been getting a lot of Empress stuff. So we've got it there. It's it's not quite conjunct, but it's real close to that North Node. Hold on, where's my mouse go? Right there. Real. Hold on, can I annotate? Let's see. Can I draw? I can draw right here. So you got Venus, not quite there, but almost in a conjunction with the North Node in Taurus, and um, that Uranus almost conjunct. So we got like a bolt of lightning happening right there in the eighth house, which is other people's money. Um, so I'm gonna count that as a good, a good sign. Also, my midheaven and my progress chart literally just moved into Taurus. So I was like, all right, then that that's that's cool. That is very, very, very that's really cool. Um, it was just even this. Hold on, let me turn annotate. Right, I lost my mouse. Here, this is the par of fortune. So again, not a celestial body, it's a calculation, but it's supposed to give you an idea of ways that you can make your fortune with ease. So if you do things that align with this, you do them with ease. So this is sitting in the sign of Cancer. So like, okay, well, where's Cancer's ruler at? Cancer's ruler is sitting in Pisces. So things that might come up would be things that, might be divine feminine, um, nurturing, creative, um, again, creativity, poetry, things of that nature. This would be where you would be aligned with ease. And for the part of fortune to actually be in the 10th house is a very good placement for it because it means your career, that your fate, your legacy would be aligned with fortune. So I thought that this was this is a really, 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 really interesting chart to look at. I was like, oh, okay, we have some things and some stuff and some things that are happening, and I'm just excited to see where it goes. Really, really excited to see where. So that was my little jaunt through astrology and the energy of the moment that I decided that I stepped on stage and shared my craft. I'm really excited about that. Um, since then, someone has reached out to me, so I'll be doing. So I have a couple of poetry events coming up. I have to check to see if I'm doing one tomorrow. Tomorrow from when I'm recording this, so this will be on the 26th. But on the 10th, I got asked to do one, and the 19th, I have to look, but I have like in July a few poetry things coming up. And I am going to work to see about, maybe at least one or two Mondays in the month going to the open mic and doing those two. Because again, there's this like, you need to continue to do this. So okay, I need to continue to do this. But I think I even dreamt the poetry like for 2 days. Like poetry came up in my dreams. So but thank you so much for watching. Have you ever done this? Have you ever like had an event go on and something significant happened in your life? You're like, you know what? Let me just look to see what was going on in the cosmos when this exact moment happened, like pulling the chart for the moment and seeing if you can see the synchronicities and as above, so below, what's actually happening. How is this balance? How are you flowing with the energy in that moment? I do have some openings for my coaching programs. So I've just graduated out of a few folks. So I do have openings for coaching programs, whether it is cultivating your spiritual practice, self-love awakens purpose, career coaching. I do have some openings in those spots. I do have a free webinar happening at the end of the month on why you need to work on creating your own personal mission, vision, and statement, because this will help you align to your purpose. So if this is a free webinar, sign up, get you a spot. And then in July, for only $11.11, I will do a class to show you how to find your intuitive yes and give you some tips to kind of work with that and feel that and go forward with that. If you want to go deeper into that, I do have a coaching course for that. And I think that's it. So thank you again for watching. Again, I'm Iadania, and this is Nia's Divine Garden. Please, if you're new here, subscribe, hit the notification bell so that you know when I post the videos. Make sure you give this a like and a share. Let me know how this resonated with you in the comments. And also check out my podcast of the same name, Nia's Divine Garden. I'm on Anchor, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. So make sure you're subscribed there as well, because I will be starting next month. I'll start recording podcast episodes. So I'll be moving from the YouTube. I'll upload some here, but I'll be focused on my podcast, getting those ready so that podcast season can be started. So thank you again for watching. Have a great day. Bye.